thematic sketch and stand-up show that lifts the lid hoping it's a treasure chest, but it turns out to be a commode. It's a box full of history.
Hello and welcome to Dilly Dally, Marry or Behead, where our guest gets the opportunity to select a marital partner with the hope of producing an offspring before dying painfully of hardship. Today we have a very special guest, the reigning monarch, the lord of all he surveys, King Henry VIII.
Right, where are these fillies you want me to sire?
This, Your Majesty, is Anne Boleyn.
Oh yes, I would dilly-dally with that any time, and no mistake.
If thou wishes to dilly-dally it, thou must put a ring on it, Majesty.
A ring? Oh, bugger, I'm kind of already hitched. Still, she hasn't given me any proper children, no male ones anyway, so let's see what I can do about that. Archbishop? Archbishop!
You called, Your Majesty.
Right, I accidentally got married, and want to get a new model in. What's the deal?
Well, I'm afraid the Pope decrees that marriage is for life, Your Majesty.
How about we just say sod the Pope and you give me a divorce? I'll be ever so grateful.
But he's the Pope, Your Majesty. He's sort of a big deal.
Okay, tell you what. I'll give you some new lands, a lot of cash, make you head of the Church of England, and give you a pointy hat. What do you say?
Excellent idea, Your Majesty. In fact, here's your divorce.
Excellent. Now let me at her.
Big Tesco's.
We did it! We travelled back in time. 2 million years before life as we know it existed. It's a bit dull, isn't it? Can't even get a signal. No. Pub? Yeah.
Old knockers.
Hello! Right, I've got to confess, I do comedy, but tonight I've been specifically asked to do comedy about history, right? And I don't know much about history. I'm very much like Sam Cooke in that respect. So I did a bit of research. One of the first things that jumped out to me, was there was a quote by Walter Benjamin. He said, "History is written by the victors." That's bollocks. I read a lot of history books and not one of them was written by a victor. There are a lot of Martins. Doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? History was written by the Martins. While I was reading these history books, I asked myself a question. I said, why do we study history? Why do we learn about history? And I think part of the reason we learn about history is so that we can learn lessons about the past. We can learn how to live better lives in the future. Case in point, the Great Fire of London. Right? It was after the Great Fire of London that we learned to install fire doors in all buildings, and a law was passed insisting that we no longer build cities out of newspaper and petrol. The way we teach history is a strange thing. I don't think we teach in schools, I don't think we teach the important stuff, the valuable stuff, the stuff that we can use. We learn a lot of dates, don't we? We learn a lot of dates, battles. Sir, you look like an intelligent man. The Battle of Hastings. Everybody learns when the Battle of Hastings was. When was the Battle of Hastings? 1066. 1066. You see? This man knows it. Sir, when was the Battle of Hastings? 1066. You see? Everybody's... When was the Battle of Hastings? 1066. I rest my case. Everybody knows when the Battle of Hastings was. My history teacher had a weird method of teaching history, a strange thing. Used mnemonics. Do you all know what mnemonics are? Yeah, okay. Some of you don't. Fuck you. I can't be bothered to explain. He used to use mnemonics, and they were the most difficult and obscure mnemonics. I've got one here, written down. He said, an apple... Oh, this, just to explain, this is to help me remember the names of all of the Egyptian pharaohs. That's useful. He said, an apple that thinks heavy thoughts and thinks all apples sometimes think, apparently has really serious ramifications mentally. I can't even remember the mnemonic. Right? For the record, I know the names of no pharaohs. Here's another one. Aardvarks love pushing tubers over cars. That's one from the Salvador Dali School of Mnemonics. And this one. The mayor of Casterbridge dunks wet biscuits in soil to satisfy the cravings of hordes of screaming Englishmen who seek enlightenment beyond the immediate tenets of the gospel, according to a quiet neighbour. I made that one up. But I think it proves my point. There are people who love history, though. Who likes history here? Oh, big fans. Yeah, some people love history. Some people like it so much that they try to live it. Have we got any battle reenactors in? You lie. You lie. Have you ever met a battle reenactor? It's a weird moment, isn't it? When they tell you. It's like they're coming out. They're basically putting all their cards on the table and saying, look, mate, I'm going to level with you. I'm a bit weird. Right? And I think, I don't know this for sure, but I think the rule of thumb generally is that the further back they go, the weirder they are. Right? I don't have a massive issue with people. If I met a guy who, say, like, wears a lot of combat gear, he drives a Jeep, that kind of thing, he watched a lot of Vietnam films, I wouldn't have a real problem with that guy. I wouldn't want to share a hotel room with him. Right? He'd probably stay up all night talking to his knives. But I would be wary of a person that felt it was okay to meet other men in a field on a Sunday morning wearing a suit of armour. That's pretty weird to me. I was actually invited. I was invited to a battle reenactment. I didn't go, which is exactly what I would have done had I been invited to a battle. So that was pretty accurate. And you know, everyone wants to be the hero. When they go to battle reenactments, they want to be the hero. They want to wield the broadsword and the shield and stand there swinging it around and chopping people down. And nobody ever wants to be the guy that stands in the field going, I don't want to die. The guy who soils his chainmail, right? Which is a horrible image, isn't it? It's like putting a Cadbury's cream egg through a cheese grater. But yeah, everybody wants to be the victor, don't they? Which, now that I hear myself say it out loud, I see Walter Benjamin makes more sense. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to me. I've been Rob Hughes. Good night.
Noel's house party.
History.
It's so old.
And it's all over the bloody place.
So how are you supposed to keep track of it all?
Using the Jones & Jenkins historical memory stick, you can remember all the history you want.
Can I remember history?
Simply take the Jones & Jenkins historical memory stick and count the rings.
1, 2, 3.
And then use the internet.
Or remember
to see what was happening then.
To go back further, simply use the Jones & Jenkins historical memory branch.
Do you want to listen to Puff Daddy?
No. I like Chumbawamba.
I wonder not try the Jones and Jenkins historical tree?
Or remember.
Anytime you want.
Can I?
Silence, woman.
Outrageous! Stop trying to vote! Buy the Jones and Jenkins historical memory stick and get the Jones and Jenkins future history acorn for only £1.
Simply plant it in the ground and over the years watch history unfold before your very eyes. Jones and Jenkins, purveyors of fine sticks since ages ago.
The Dirty Guillemot.